Welcome to my vodcast. Today we are going to learn how to create a rubric on D2L. Welcome to the homepage of D2L. Because creating a rubric is only available in a faculty account, you will have to be logged in as a faculty member at ESU. Once you see this homepage, you will see all of the courses that are taught by the professor and the settings that they can utilize. First, you're going to come down here to My Courses and you're going to select one of the courses that the professor teaches. Once you have selected a course, this is the homepage of that selected course that you will come to. While you are on the homepage of the selected course, you are going to go up to the top of the page and click on the word Assessments. A drop-down menu will appear and you are going to click on the word Rubrics. Once you click on the Rubrics button, you are going to come to the Rubrics page. Any rubrics that you have already created are going to be listed in the middle of the screen. But for today, we're going to click the blue button that says New Rubric. After clicking New Rubric, this is the screen that will show up. At the top of the screen, you can see that there is a place for a name. This is where you are going to give your rubric a title. For example, I named mine Computers in Education Rubric. Right below name, you are going to see rubric status. Currently, it is on default and says draft. We are going to keep it this way because we are still in the middle of making our rubric. As you scroll down the page, you are going to see more options. For the rubric type, we are going to leave it as analytic. Below that, you will see where you can put the initial number of levels and the initial number of criteria. This is where you are going to put the categories that the students will be assessed on and the different levels of the points that each student have earned. For the initial number of levels, for example, I put 3, and for the initial number of criteria, I put 4. Below that, you will see the scoring method. Most rubrics go by a point system, so we are going to leave that as points. Below that, you will see the advanced availability. Right here, you can allow new associations in competencies. We are going to keep this checked off because this allows us to link our rubric to different projects that the students complete. Upon saving your work, you are going to be able to go back to the home screen for the rubrics. At the top of the page, you are going to click the Levels and Criteria tab. If you look at the center of the page, you will now see that it has the 4 criterion categories and the 3 different levels. These are the different levels and criteria that I had just entered on the previous screen. Now that we have the outline of our rubric, we are going to enter our information. First, on the left-hand side, you are going to click on Criterion 1. On the right, there is an arrow which will show a drop-down menu, and click Edit Criterion. This is a screen that will appear once you click Edit Criterion. At the top of the screen, you can see that it says Edit Criterion and Criterion 1. That is because I am adding the first category that I will be assessing my students on. Where it says Criterion Name, I chose Creativity. This is one of the categories that I will be assessing my students on. You are then going to click the Save button and you are going to return to the home screen of your rubric. After clicking Save, this is the screen that will appear. As you can see, you are back to the image of the outline of your rubric. If you look under the 4 categories, under Criteria, you will see that the first one says Creativity. This was the category that I had entered that I wanted to assess my students on, and now it is on the chart. Now we are going to practice adding levels. First, you are going to click on the drop-down arrow next to Level 3. You are then going to select Edit Level. Now you will find yourself at the Edit Level page. First, at the top, there will be a space to put the level name. I chose to put Advanced because that's going to be the highest level that my students can achieve in that category. Under level name, you're going to see a place where you can put score in a form of points. I selected to put 3 because I decided that is going to be the highest value that my students can earn in that category. If you look down, under Criteria, you will see Creativity. Once again, this was the first category that I created that my students are going to be. After saving your work from your previous screen, you are going to end up back at the Edit Rubric page. As you can see, under criteria, you will see the word creativity, which was once again the category that I chose to assess my students on. Now, right next to that, you are going to see the word advanced and 3 points. This is what we had just previously done. I had decided to call the highest level advanced and to give a maximum of 3 points. And right below that, you will see the description that I had given in order for students to achieve those points. Now that you have learned how to add a criteria and how to add a level, you are going to repeat those steps until your entire rubric is filled out. As you can see, the criteria that I chose to assess my students on were creativity, spelling and grammar, originality, and references. At the top, I decided to assess them in the form of advanced, proficient, and unacceptable, a point value going from 3 to 2 to 0. At the bottom of the rubric, you will see that it automatically inserted a row that says overall score. It automatically tallies the highest score that each student can get and leaves a space for you to be able to add up the student's score and assess them. After closing out of your previous screen, you are going to come back to the home page of rubrics. As you can see in the list of rubrics that you have created, your new one has been added. Right there in the middle, you will see Computers and Education, which is the rubric that I had created. If you look all the way to the right, the status is still draft because that's what we had set it in when we were still making our rubric. Now that we are back in the Edit Rubric page from my Computers and Education rubric, you are going to look under the name, and under Status, where we had previously had Draft, you are going to click the down arrow and switch it to Published. At the bottom of the page, you are going to save your work. We are now once again back at the rubric's homepage. And now if you look down at our Computers and Education rubric and look all the way to the right, the rubric says Published. It is now ready to be used on your D2L site in order to assess your students on their projects.